Hi, Melissa. I wanted to see you. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on a second. I wanted to see you examine some of these issues a little more thoroughly. For example, look at this picture. It's a National Enquirer picture of Whitney Houston in her coffin after, well, she died a couple of years ago, a couple of summers ago. So, is this ethical? I mean, okay. I mean, I think the short answer is no, it's not ethical. Uh, did the photographer have the right to do it? It's a discussion. I don't think the Inquirer got sued over this. I think balance between there's a balance between shock value and the overriding public need to know. Now, the National Press Photographers Association has a code of ethics, and one of the clauses said treat all subjects with respect and dignity, give special consideration to vulnerable subjects and compassion to victims of crime or tragedy. Intrude on private moments of grief only when the public has an overriding and justifiable need to see. Now, given the fact that Whitney Houston had celebrity status, did the public have an overriding and justifiable need to see this? This is an example of an instance where an opinion is called for. Okay, here we have um, a guy who was pushed on the tracks. He was on the subway tracks here, and the train was coming. And the photographer, the New York Post photographer, I don't have his name handy. He took the picture instead of trying to help the man. I mean, come on. What's going on with that? I mean, this was very controversial. Here is John Lennon right after he was shot. Again, the National Enquirer. The National Enquirer pays very well. So, celebrities are one thing. This poor guy here, who got crushed by the train, by the way, is another story. Now, here we have the famous case of Brian Walski of the LA Times, who manipulated a photograph to make his point. He immediately got fired. Now, here's where a discussion about how the part of the assignment about how do photojournalists fight the digital manipulation, selling the reputation of photojournalists. Well, one way to do it is to immediately, summarily, fire a guy who's caught doing this. Here is the original photo on the left, and another original photo on the right. He took both of these kind of one after the other. I think this may have been the first one, because here the guy is approaching the soldier, and here someone else comes in to whisper something in this guy's ear, but we don't really know. So what the photographer did, he took this part of photograph 2, placed that on this part of photograph 1, so that you have all of this from the original photograph 1 and this from photograph 2. Now, how they caught him, I don't know. I guess they really magnified this and saw some kind of duplication going on right here on the boundary. But look, the intent is definitely to falsify. Look, here in number 1, the man with the child is approaching the American GI, and the American GI is kind of relaxed. Nothing's going on here. In number 2, the GI is making a gesture somewhere over here, possibly to someone over here. Only the photographer knows for sure what was going on. But whatever that gesture was about, it's more poignant here, where the soldier's kind of reacting to the guy coming at him with the child. So there is some falsification of fact here. So, I mean, it was correct for the LA Times to fire the guy. However, there is a counterpoint to this, and there is a blog out there that claims that the LA Times found a pretext to fire the photographer and not publish this picture because anything that's not condoned by the Pentagon shouldn't be published, and that's the way the media has gone nowadays. So I mean that is the counterpoint argument. So this is the kind of discussion that the assignment hopes to stimulate and to have you think about, and this is what I was hoping to see from you. But at any rate, you did examine Eddie Adams' background pretty thoroughly. That's pretty much it for now, Melissa. So watch your MLA formatting. It's non-existent. Or wait a minute, let me double check that. What's going on here? Where is your paper? Yeah, you have to, it's non-existent. You have to double space. Read the tutorial. Okay, read the tutorial. I posted a tutorial in the class announcements. All right, that's it for now. Take care. Take care, Melissa.